the skeleton of his new town in place, Mayor Marcus Evergreen is ready to grow Genesis. He's invested heavily into a new logging venture, aptly named Evergreen Timber Products. As Genesis grows, more and more amenities are needed to fuel this growing town. In today's episode, join me as we continue to add vital city services, embark on an industrial journey, and lay out the framework of our train network. How's it going, everybody? My name is Max, and welcome to Genesis Bay. Hopefully you all enjoyed the first episode. I was really excited to bring that to you and bring this whole series to you. This video is a bit of a different style. Trying something, just let me know in the comments whether you like it or not. This is more of the narrated time-lapse style, so don't worry, we have more of the first style pre-recorded as well. I've been really into it, like way too into City Skylines lately, so good news for you guys is a lot more Genesis Bay is on the way. That being said, we're starting off first by upgrading some of the main roads. This is to get better passageway through and hopefully handle some of our traffic later on. I will be the first to admit I have a really bad habit of not leaving myself room to grow, so when it's time to upgrade the roads, sometimes I have to do a lot of work to get things to fit in. That being said, we added a health clinic, so we finally have some more service going in, and we're starting to add some of the initial commercial. Adding more services, like I said in the intro, it's time that we add a lot more. So working on the cemetery as well, finding where it's laying, and I forgot how important it is to pre-grade in City Skylines 2. That looks absolutely awful. It's not great. We hit Small Village, so that's always good. I've been kind of impressed at the rate that I've built up through here, so it's fun. And I really am loving the game. Mods have kind of revived it for me like I thought they would. Just playing the game more seriously. What I've noticed is you can kind of see here as I'm playing with the terrain, it was another issue where the roads were sitting higher than the terrain. I really don't know why that is. It's been this way on the entire map. I don't know if it was some sort of bug or if that was intentional when the map maker made this map. It is a modded map. Again, Rafterman, NZ, I believe, NZ, is the map maker of this. But all of the roads were sitting like, I don't know, maybe 3 feet higher than the terrain, and it's caused some weird stuff. I've had to fix it on some where it's more severe than others, but it's weird. It's really odd, and I'm not sure why it's doing it. Filling in more of the commercial, this block I actually changed up in a couple episodes down the road, I believe, just because I found that zoning in commercial really does not work great. I found that it works best when you intentionally plot because of how things fit. And speaking of intentionally plot, this is a very important piece of Genesis, and this is actually Marcus Evergreen's house. So this whole time, I've retained this entire area preserved for him. So obviously the lore is Marcus Evergreen, you know, he has kind of like a larger investment banker, that kind of thing, just was more of a stock guy somewhere. I'm imagining like New York or whatever, you know, something like that. Kind of came from money that he's made, and he is the founder of Genesis. You know, moving in, wanted a slower pace of life. So that's his house. You know, he wants a big, nice property, good view, nothing around it. And then this is Evergreen Timber Products. So kind of co-founded by him as well, but this is the first of big industry in Genesis. So really happy with that. Still weirdness with the power lines. That is a theme throughout this whole series, is that power lines have been doing weird stuff. Not sure why, but they have been. They just have been. But yeah, really, really happy with how this is turning out. And this is kind of the first bit of detailing. I played around with some of the stuff. Later on in the series, I'm saying this because I've actually played quite a lot in the last week or so, and we have a ton of content coming your way. I've gotten really into detailing. I'm loving it. So obviously we got some good stuff coming. But this is my first kind of forte getting in with some of the detail work and some of these mods that are now available in City Skylines. So we're just kind of adding in some random stuff, making it feel a little bit better. Just adding some stuff. So adding a small house, maybe that's a caretaker's house, or somebody that works for Evergreen Timber. And then just adding a little bit of props. I did not mess with vehicles yet. I heard there's some weird stuff about the ones through Find It, and I've been hesitant to add on any props, or any assets in general. I've heard there can be weirdness, so that's why I'm holding back. If you know anything about that, let me know. Or maybe I just psyched myself out for no reason. But yeah, I don't know. It felt nice to actually kind of detail up a little bit. We're going back to plopping houses. I zoned in some. Sometimes you just got to get the right feel. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Now we're going to be building out a custom park space. It's really unfortunate that we can't add functionality to it. It doesn't function as a park space. Again, I'm really kind of bummed out that we didn't get a lot of kind of the DLC content of City Skylines 1 incorporated as more of a base thing in 2. I can understand wanting to save some content, but some of the foundational stuff that it just seems weird not to have it. Yeah, like the ability to make a custom park. We have the space reserved, but unfortunately it just doesn't function as a park, Something that's nice in, this neighborhood is large. Everything is spread out. That is one of the main themes of Genesis, is that there is space. So, it would make sense that stuff kind of has its own space, its own nice park, that kind of thing. Anyway, looking at a larger view here, you can see we have a lot to fill in, but don't worry, we do quite a lot. This is something that actually did get changed pretty quickly. I added some medium density to try to satisfy that demand. And it worked, but it didn't. Get a tile here. This is one thing. I am working with a Jeffersonian grid. Full credit for this idea goes to City Planner Plays. Obviously, I think some of you guys know I watch his content, really do enjoy it. And his concept of using the map tiles as the outline for the Jeffersonian grid is awesome. So we're using dirt roads just to outline them as we move out into more of the countryside. And I think it's perfect. It looks awesome. Obviously, the Jeffersonian grid is kind of a thing that has existed for a while, and it was a original kind of, I don't know what you'd want to say, kind of marking or delineation for road layouts in a rural area. So yeah, it's kind of its own thing. Looking back at this city, obviously, it's still very spread out. That is something that every episode we're going to continue. Add more residential, add more residential, add more residential. It's awesome. I'm happy. I cannot wait for you guys to see what's coming in future episodes, because where we're at right now is pretty insane. I love it. You kind of see me going back and forth working here. I'm trying to add the train depot, but I'm trying to add it in a place that makes sense. Trains are not my strong suit. I feel like I say it in every episode. Foreshadowing, because I do some weird train stuff in the future. But yeah, trains are not my strong suit. I try my best to make it work. Sometimes I struggle. Speaking of struggling, these power lines, I don't know if I'm doing something weird, if it's something with the map or what, but they do not want to cross train tracks or highways. I understand them not wanting to cross train tracks. That kind of makes sense. But they just won't go over a highway. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't know. But we finally do have the train depot down. We just got to rework the road. So the one thing I'm doing here is trying to make our highway tie in to the Jeffersonian grid, so that it makes a little bit more sense. Obviously, this is one of those things where those dirt grids probably have been there for a really long time, and so that's one of those things where I am kind of tying in more history, if that makes sense. It's a modern build, but I'm having to build out history and act like it's been there for a while, you know? And that's one of those things where, obviously, as they built out this facility, you know, and as city planners and builders created this, they would adapt the grid to fit their needs. So you can see where it makes the most sense for that road crossing to go underneath the bridge, but still have it tie in with the grid. Okay, here's the moment where I need everybody to remember that I'm not a train guy. Obviously, I cannot expect it to be 100% perfect, but I don't think it's super egregious. I'm trying to keep the curves as minimal as possible. If you are a train person, I know there are some of you out there, if you see something that, like, it is glaringly obvious that it is a problem, please let me know, and I will try to correct it. Let me know in the comments down below if I can do something to improve it. That's not going to stay a dead end forever. I'm extending it out here, and in the next couple of episodes, I actually build it out more and tie it back in with that main track. So do not worry. It does not stay a one-way like that forever as a dead end. So yeah, please, if you're a train person, give me some feedback. Let me know how I did. And the last thing we're kind of doing here as well is building out a lot of farm. This area, especially as it ties in with the grid, is going to be heavily farmed. The map maker did an awesome job of adding fertile land to everything. So pretty much, if it doesn't have another natural resource on it, it's fertile land, which I just think is awesome. Really happy with that. And if you're wondering how we have it unlocked at this point, if you didn't watch the episode, the first episode, first off, watch it. But secondly, I'm using historical start, so that's how we have the trains and all that stuff. Last up, we're adding an elementary school to finally get some more education going, backing it up with some smaller houses, and then just tossing them some trees, doing a fine level of detail to try to shelter off, you know, a school shouldn't be, like, super big on the street, just kind of shelter it off. But with that being said, thank you all so much for watching this episode. Please leave a like, subscribe if you're new, give me comments down below. Really happy with this episode. I'll see you in episode 3. See you guys later.